The fever hit like a freight train on a rain-soaked Tuesday in Brooklyn, turning my world into a haze of sweat and shadows. I was Tyler Hayes, 24 and adrift in the endless grind of entry-level graphic design gigs, when the thermometer shattered my fragile routine at 103 degrees. But it wasn't the delirium that broke, it was the doctor who showed up at my door, his hands steady on my skin, and in a moment that lasted forever, pressed his lips to mine as if prescribing a cure I'd never shake. That kiss wasn't mercy. It was a spark in the dark, igniting something buried deep in the rubble of my unspoken fears. Dr. Elias Grant, with his quiet authority and eyes that saw straight through the fever's fog, didn't just treat my body, awaken a part of me I'd locked away since high school whispers in Ohio cornfields. As the storm raged outside my cramped walk-up, his breath mingled with mine, warm and hesitant, like a confession whispered to the wind. In that instant, I wasn't just surviving. I was alive, terrified, and utterly claimed. Elias pulled back first, his fingers lingering on my jaw, the weight of what we'd done hanging heavier than the humid air. "You need rest, Tyler," he murmured, his voice a low rumble that vibrated through my chest, steady as the heartbeat he'd just checked. He was 32, a ER physician at Mount Sinai, born and raised in the same sprawling American mosaic as Miah's family from Chicago's South Side, mine from the Rust Belt heartland. But in that touch, our worlds collided, two men navigating the invisible lines of a society still learning to bend. He adjusted the foredrip he'd rigged from my kitchen counter, his touch clinical yet charged, like he was fighting his own fever. I watched him move, all lean muscle under his rumpled shirt, the faint scar on his knuckle from some long-ago shift gone wrong. He didn't speak of it, but I could feel the story etched there, a reminder that healing always leaves marks. By dawn, the fever broke, but the ache in my chest only deepened. Elias stayed through the night, dozing in the armchair with his head tilted back, exposing the vulnerable line of his throat. I lay there, staring at the ceiling cracks that mapped my loneliness like a subway diagram, replaying the kiss in loops that made my pulse race anew. Who was I before this? A guy who dated women in college out of habit, burying the questions that bubbled up during late-night scrolls through anonymous forums. Gay. Bi. The labels felt like traps, but Elias's mouth on mine had shattered the cage. When he woke, coffee in hand from the corner bodega, he smiled that crooked, boyish grin that didn't match his professional poise. "You're looking human again," he said, handing me the mug. Our fingers brushed, and electricity hummed, unspoken promises flickering in the morning light. We talked then, halting at first, like two explorers charting unclaimed territory. He confessed the pull he'd felt the moment he'd assessed me at urgent care the day before me flushed face. The way my eyes held his a beat too long. "It's against every rule," he admitted, rubbing the back of his neck, his dark curls tousled from sleep. But rules be damned. In the raw vulnerability of illness, we both reached for connection. I told him about Ohio, the suffocating summers where coming out felt like admitting defeat, how I'd fled to New York 5 years ago chasing reinvention. Elias nodded, sharing fragments of his own path, med school rejections that hardened him, a mentor who'd seen his potential when he doubted it most, and the quiet nights questioning if love could fit between shifts and solitude. By noon, he was gone, back to the hospital's chaos. But his number burned in my phone like a talisman. The weeks that followed blurred into a tentative rhythm, our texts evolving from check-ins to confessions. "Fever's gone, but I missed the excuse to see you." I'd type, heart pounding as I hit send. His replies came swift, laced with humor to mask the depth. "Careful, Tyler, I am prescribing distance, but my patient's non-compliant." We met for coffee in hidden corners of the city, away from prying eyes Washington Square Park at dusk, where jazz buskers drowned out our whispers. Elias was a revelation, brilliant, with a laugh that crinkled his eyes, but haunted by the weight of lives saved and lost. He spoke of a patient last winter, a young trans kid who'd coded on his table. The failure's still raw. We fix bodies, but souls, that's the real battlefield. His words wrapped around me, drawing out my own scars. The father who'd called my art frivolous. The mother whose hugs felt like apologies for a world that didn't bend. One crisp October evening, as leaves skittered across the pavement like fleeing secrets, we walked the High Line, the Hudson glittering below us. The air was alive with possibility. The city's hum a backdrop to our unfolding story. Elias stopped under a canopy of rusted rails, turning to me with that intensity that made my knees weak. "Tyler, the suicide's not just a fever dream." His hand found mine, hidden in the folds of my jacket. And we stood there, two American dreamers stealing breaths from the night. But even then, shadows loomed. His ex, a fellow doctor who'd left scars deeper than any incision. My fear of labels pinning me down. Yet in his gaze, I saw a future not perfect, but ours. As November chilled the air, our meetings deepened, each one peeling back layers we'd armored for years. Elias invited me to his Harlem brownstone one rainy Saturday. The space a testament to his ordered chaos, medical journals stacked beside dog-eared novels, a jazz record spinning Miles Davis on the turntable. We cooped bad la pasta that stuck to the pot, laughing until tears came. The domesticity a balm to my wandering heart. Over wine, he opened up about his queerness, coming out in med school amid whispers of distraction. "I thought love would wait," he said, voice thick. "But it doesn't. It demands everything." I shared my own fragments, the college party where I'd kissed a guy in the shadows, fleeing before dawn, the Grindr downloads deleted in panic. In his arms that night, fully clothed on the couch as thunder rolled. We mapped each other's contours with words and tentative touches, building a bridge over the chasm of doubt. But doubt has teeth. Holiday lights twinkled in store windows, mocking my inner turmoil as Thanksgiving approached. Elias's schedule was a beast, shifts bleeding into days off, and I felt the pull of distance like a tide dragging me under. Texts grew sparse. My insecurities whispered that I was just a patient who'd wandered into fantasy. One night, alone in my apartment with takeout growing cold, I scrolled old photos. Elias at a beach, shirtless and free, a reminder of the life he led without me. Jealousy twisted, irrational and sharp. When he finally called, exhaustion lacing his voice, I lashed out. Am I just a break from the real world? Silence stretched. Then his sigh, heavy as regret. "Tyler, you're the only real thing I've got right now." We mended it over mulled cider at a quiet bar in the village, the jukebox crooning Sinatra like an old friend. Apologies flowed, laced with truths we'd skirted, his fear of losing another love to the job's demands, my terror of being the phase in someone else's story. "I'm all in," he vowed, his thumb tracing my knuckles under the table. "But it scares me too." That vulnerability cracked me open, and I leaned in, our foreheads touching in the dim glow. "Then we'll scare it together." As December frosted the windows, we carved out stolen moments ice skating at Bryant Park, where he caught me when I stumbled, his laughter warming the bite of wind. Midnight runs to the all-night diner, sharing fries and dreams of a life beyond survival. Yet the new year brought fractures. Elias's hospital faced budget cuts, shifts doubling, and the man who'd kissed fever from my lips began to fade under fluorescent lights. I threw myself into work, landing a freelance gig for a queer magazine, illustrations that poured out my unspoken aches. But nights alone amplified the void, my mind replaying every touch, every word, wondering if love could withstand the grind. One blizzard-bound evening, he showed up at my door, snow-dusted and hollow-eyed, collapsing onto the couch with a story of a lost patient, a father of two. Gone too soon. I can't save them all, he whispered, head in my lap as I stroked his hair. In that moment, our roles reversed. I became the healer, murmuring assurances until sleep claimed him. It was love's quiet power, the kind that doesn't demand spotlights but builds empires in the dark. Spring unfurled in tentative blooms, mirroring our cautious thaw. We planned a weekend escape to the Catskills, a cabin rented on a whim, where city noise couldn't intrude. The drive was filled with playlists, soulful R&B clashing with my indie folk, harmonies emerging in the discord. At the lake's edge, under a sky bruised purple, Elias proposed we make it official, not rings, but intention. Be mine, Tyler. Through the fevers and the freezes, tears pricked my eyes. This was the man who'd seen me at my weakest and chosen to stay. We kissed then, slow and sure, the water lapping like applause. But summer's heat tested us. Pride Month swirled in rainbows and revelry. Yet Elias pulled back, citing exhaustion. It's not you, he insisted during a tense dinner in Soho. But his eyes darted away. Whispers from colleagues' judgments on divided focus had wormed in, and I felt the old fears resurface. Was I the distraction he'd once feared becoming? Arguments simmered, words like embers. You think I don't get it? I shot back one humid night, voice cracking. I've hidden who I am my whole life. He reached for me, but I recoiled, the space between us widening like a fault line. The breaking point came in August, during a heat wave that mirrored the blaze in my chest. Elias was called to a mass casualty, a subway derailment, and vanished for days. I paced my apartment, phone silent, imagination conjuring worst-case horrors. When he emerged, bandaged hand and haunted gaze, he collapsed into confession. I almost lost you in my head, Tyler. Every siren. I saw your face. But the fear had rooted. He suggested space. To breathe. Words that gutted me. This isn't recovery. I choked out. It's retreat. He left with a promise to fight. But the door's click echoed like finality. Autumn returned, leaves turning to fire as I navigated the ashes. Therapy became my anchor. Sessions unpacking the boy from Ohio who'd equated love with loss. Friends rallied, queer, chosen family from art collectives, their stories a chorus reminding me I wasn't alone. Elias reached out sporadically. Texts like lifelines. I miss your laugh. I responded in fragments, guarding my mending heart. Months blurred. I thrived in small ways, a solo exhibit of my illustrations. Themes of fractured light and hidden depths, selling out to strangers who saw their own reflections. Winter's grip loosened into spring again. A year since our Catskills vow. One evening, as cherry blossoms dusted the park, my phone buzzed. Elias. Voice tentative. Can we talk? Really talk? We met at our old Highline spot, the rails now overgrown with memory. He looked older, lines etched deeper, but his eyes held the same fire. I was wrong, he admitted, hands trembling. Pushing you away was my fear, not fate. I love you. Tyler, fever or no? Tears fell, mine and his, mingling on the bench. I never recovered either. I whispered. But maybe that's the point. We rebuild. We started slow, rebuilding with intention, weekly dates. No matter the chaos. Couples counseling that peeled back our defenses. Elias advocated for queer health initiatives at work, channeling pain into purpose. I illustrated a children's book on families in all forms, dedicating it to the doctor who healed more than bodies. Time wove us tighter, scars becoming stories. On our second anniversary, under that same stormy sky, He knelt not with a ring, but a key to his brownstone. Build a life with me. Laughter bubbled through my yes. The hook of our beginning, now the anchor of our forever. Years folded forward, a wedding in the village. Small and fierce, with vows that echoed our first confessions. Tyler Hayes Grant, 30 now, with Elias's hand in mine at pride. Marching not in hiding, but in light. We mentored youth navigating their own fevers, literal and metaphorical, reminding them that love isn't a cure, but a companion through the unrelenting ache. The fever that started it all. A distant memory. But the kiss. Eternal. A testament that recovery isn't erasure, but evolution. In the end, we never fully healed because true living demands we carry the wounds, letting them light the way for others. The rhythm of our rebuilt life wasn't seamless. It stuttered like an old engine, demanding oil and patience. Elias's shift still pulled him into the night's maw, leaving me to the quiet of our shared brownstone, where walls once echoed with solitude now hummed with half-preserved traces of him, his coffee mug on the counter. A stethoscope draped over the chair like a forgotten scarf. I'd sketch by the window, charcoal smudging my fingers as I captured the skyline's jagged honesty. Each line a meditation on fragility. Our love, once a feverish spark, had cooled into something steadier. But steadiness bred complacency. And in the cracks, old doubts whispered. One crisp fall morning in our third year, as golden light slanted through the blinds, Elias woke with a start, his pager's insistent beep shattering the peace. Another overdose, he muttered, already shrugging into scrubs, the fabric whispering against his skin like a lover's regret. I watched from the bed, sheets tangled around me, the distance between us a chasm measured in inches. Come back safe, I said, the words ritual now, but laced with the undercurrent of fear that never fully ebbed. He kissed my forehead chaste. Brotherly Ann was gone, leaving the air cooler, heavier. That day, I wandered the Met, losing myself in impressionist swirls that blurred boundaries like our early days. A Monet lily pond spoke to me, petals adrift yet rooted. A metaphor for the queerness we'd both navigated, beautiful in chaos, resilient in repose. Back home, Elias arrived late. I shadowed, collapsing beside me on the couch with a sigh that carried the weight of strangers' despair. Kid was 18, he said, voice raw. First year out. Family cut him off. The story spilled, and I held him, my artist's hands tracing patterns on his back, absorbing the grief he couldn't afford to carry alone. In those moments, our bond deepened, a quiet heroism in the everyday. But heroes falter. Winter brought a storm of its own, Elias's promotion to chief resident, a laurel that crowned him with thorns. Meetings bled into our evenings, his presence a ghost at the dinner table. I'd cook simple things, pasta with herbs from the fire escape garden we'd planted together and wait. The clocks tick a metronome to my growing unease. We're good, right? He'd ask, forcing a smile over reheated plates. But his eyes betrayed the lie. I nodded, swallowing the truth that love, like art, requires presence to thrive. Tension crested in February, under a blanket of snow that muffled the city's roar. We'd planned a getaway to Fire Island, a queer haven where dunes whispered freedoms we'd earned. But his hospital called flu season's CJAN he canceled, voice apologetic over the line. Tyler, I can't. People need me. Rage simmered, not at him, but at the world that demanded his light while dimming ours. I hung up, stormed into the studio, and slashed paint across canvas blues bleeding into reds, a violent abstract of abandonment. When he came home, the air crackled. This job is killing us, I accused, palette knife in hand like a sword. He recoiled, hurt flashing. It's saving lives. Tyler, isn't that what we build on? The fight raged. Words like shrapnel, my accusations of neglect. His defenses of duty. You kissed me when I was broken, now I'm whole. And you can't see it. I yelled. Tears hot. He stepped closer. Voice breaking. I see you. God. I see you every time I close my eyes in that ER. But if I stop. The silence that followed was our undoing. A mirror to the fears we'd outrun once. We slept apart that night. The bed a battlefield. But dawn brought truce, arms reaching across the divide. Apologies murmured into pillows. Spring's renewal mirrored our mending. We recommitted with small acts, morning runs along the reservoir. Breaths sinking like heartbeats. Therapy sessions where we unpacked the myth of perfect love. Embracing its mess. Elias shared a vulnerability I'd glimpsed, but never namied, a childhood stutter that med school had beaten out of him, leaving rigidity in its wake. I fear softness makes me weak. He confessed, voice trembling. I took his hand, tracing the scar on his knuckle. It makes you human. Like me. In turn, I admitted my art's undercurrent of imposter syndrome. Sketches born from doubt. Together, we created a mural for a local LGBTQ center. My lines intertwined with his medical sketches. Symbols of healing's dual face. Summer arrived with festivals and fireflies. Our love blooming in the heat. Pride that year was triumphant. We marched hand in hand. No longer hiding. The crowd's roar a validation of our journey. Elias spoke at a panel on queer health disparities. His words fierce and tender. Crediting me in the quiet after. You taught me to fight for the unseen. Evenings found us on the rooftop. Stars pricking the pollution haze. Sharing dreams, Deferita Clinic for underserved youth. My graphic novel on love's long arc. Yet autumn's turning leaves heralded tests anew. Elias's father visited from Chicago. A stoic retiree whose silence on our union spoke volumes. Dinner was cordial. Plates clinking like fragile peace. But undercurrents swirled. Proud of you, son, the man said, eyes avoiding mine. Later, alone, Elias unraveled. He'll never say it. But I hear the questions. I held him through the night, whispering affirmations. Our love a bulwark against inherited silences. My own family call came soon after mother's voice tentative. When do we meet him? Progress. Bittersweet. As winter loomed. A crisis struck. Elias collapsed during a shift. Exhaustion manifesting as pneumonia. Irony's cruel twist. I rushed to his bedside. Roles reversed. My hand in his as monitors beeped our shared vulnerability. Your turn to recover. I teased weakly. But tears betrayed the terror. He squeezed back, whispering, with you. Always. His convalescence was our crucible, nursing with soups and stories. Him yielding control. In that fragility, we forged deeper trust. Emerging not unscathed, but unbreakable. Spring 2028 found us stronger. The brownstone alive with plans. We adopted a rescue dog. A scruffy mutt named Miles after Davis. His wagging tail a daily reminder of joy's simplicity. Elias's clinic dream took root. Funded by grants. A beacon for those like the kid he'd lost. My novel sold modestly. Reviews praising its raw humanity. But the real win was Elias's forward. Words that immortalized our fever-born bond. Yet life's script twists. Summer brought news. Elias offered a fellowship in Boston. A career leap. It's temporary, he said. Excitement tempered by dread. I nodded, masking the pang our roots in New York. Tangled deep. We'll make it work. The move was logistical, hell packing boxes amid goodbyes, but love's elasticity stretched. Weekends became sacred. Trains blurring miles as we clung to routines. Video calls over coffee. Care packages of sketches and scrubs. Fall's distance-tested resolve. Arguments flared over missed calls. The void amplifying insecurities. Are we drifting? I voiced one night. Screen glowing between us. His face softened. No. Tyler. We're expanding. Holiday travel bridged the gap. Christmas in Chicago with his family. Tentative warmth thawing old frosts. My parents joined via Zoom. Toasts awkward but earnest. Winter's end heralded return. Elias's fellowship concluded. Our reunion a tearful airport embrace. Never again. We vowed. Laughing through sobs. Spring 2029 bloomed with permanencia commitment ceremony in the Catskills. Lake waters witnessing vows renewed. Friends gathered. Queer kin toasting our resilience. Years accelerated. Tyler at 35. Elias 42. Our lives a tapestry of triumphs and trials. The clinic thrived. Saving stories like ours. My art grace galleries. Themes of enduring light. A surrogacy journey brought little Jordan. A boy with Elias's curls and my hazel eyes. His laughter the ultimate recovery. Through fevers of parenthood sleepless nights. Toddler tantrums held fast. Love's evolution our greatest art. The kiss that started it. A legend we told Jordan in bedtime whispers. Not of magic, but of choosing each other. Day after imperfect day. In the end, we never fully recovered nor did we want to. For in the ache, we found wholeness. Two men whose hearts beat in defiant harmony against the world's indifferent rhythm. Parenthood reshaped us like clay under patient hands. Molding edges softer. Colors richer. Jordan arrived in the haze of a September dawn. His cries piercing the hospital room where Elias had once mended me. I held him first. Tiny fingers curling around mine. A miracle woven from our will and a surrogate's grace. Elias watched. Tears carving paths down his stubbled cheeks. Whispering. He's perfect. Tyler. Like you. In that moment, our fevered beginnings circled back. Not as origin, but as prophecy fulfilled, a family born from vulnerability's soil. The early months were a delirium of diapers and dawn feedings. Our brownstone transformed into a fortress of bottles and board books. Elias, ever the physician, tracked milestones with charts. His precision a counter to my intuitive chaos. I'd pace the living room at 3 a.m. Jordan nestled against my chest. Humming folk tunes from my Ohio youth Dylan's raspy hope a lullaby against the unknown. Elias would join us, bleary-eyed from the clinic, his arms enveloping us both in a triad of warmth. We're a team, he'd murmur, kissing my temple, the gesture a quiet sacrament. But teams falter under fatigue's weight. Fall deepened, leaves surrendering to frost, as sleep deprivation frayed our seams. Arguments sparked over trifleesa forgotten grocery run. The thermostats wore. One evening, as Jordan fussed in his crib, Elias snapped. I can't be everywhere. His words landed like a slap, echoing my old fears of abandonment. I retreated to the studio, brushstrokes furious, painting tempests that mirrored my turmoil. Hours later, he found me, paint smeared and spent. I'm sorry, he breathed, pulling me close. Physis. Him it's everything. I just forget to breathe. We cried then, raw and real, recommitting in the wreckage. Love's forge tempering us anew. Winter holidays brought balm. We hosted a small gathering queer friends. Jordan's godparents from the art collective string lights twinkling like stars in our living room. Elias carved the turkey with surgical grace, while I narrated Jordan's gummy smiles. The room alive with laughter's healing hum. His father's presence, once stiff, softened. He bounced Jordan on his knee. A grandfather's tentative joy bridging years of silence. My mother flew in, her hugs enveloping Elias like long-lost kin. Whispers of family mending Midwestern rifts. Spring 2031 unveiled growth's green tendrils. Jordan toddled. His first steps a wobbly conquest across the park grass. Elias and I cheering like fools. We enrolled him in a bilingual playgroup. Elias's heritage infusing Spanish lullabies into our nights. My work flourished a commission for the clinic's walls. Murals depicting journeys from shadow to light. Jordan's chubby handprint immortalized in one corner. Elias's advocacy expanded, testifying before City Council on mental health for queer youth. His voice steady with our shared conviction. Yet summer's sultry haze brewed storms. Jordan's first fever-innocent echo of mine sent us spiraling. Elias assessed him with clinical calm, but his hands trembled. Memories of lost patients surfacing. He's fine, he assured, but doubt lingered in his eyes. That night, as Jordan slept soundly, we talked on the fire escape. City lights a distant constellation. I see my failures in him. Elias confessed. Vulnerability cracking his armor. I took his face in my hands. And I see our strength. We're not just surviving. Elias, we're thriving. The kiss that followed was fierce, reaffirming our pact against fear's tide. Fall's harvest season mirrored abundance. Jordan's second birthday, a backyard bash with balloons and babble, overflowed with love nieces and nephews from Elias's side. My artist's circle toasting with cider. But beneath joy, a shadow stirred. Elias's clinic faced funding threats. Bureaucracy's blade hovering. Late nights found him poring over grants. Worry etching lines deeper. I countered with structure-shared calendars. Date nights at hidden jazz clubs where saxophones wailed our unspoken anthems. Lean on me, I'd say. And slowly, he did. Our partnership a dance of give and yield. Winter 2032 tested that balance. A nor'easter blanketed the city, confining us indoors. Jordan's cabin fever amplifying ours. Cabinets emptied. Tempers Florida spilled sippy cup igniting a row over rolls. You get the glory of playtime. I get the grind. I vented. Unfairness born of exhaustion. Elias's retort stung, and I get the ghosts that keep me up. Silence fell, heavy as snow, until Jordan's cry summoned us. We scooped him up together, his warmth dissolving the frost. In his nursery, rocking him between us. Apologies wove through coos. We're human, Elias whispered. Flawed, but fighting. Spring renewal came with Jordan's preschool enrollment. A milestone laced with bittersweet. Drop-off mornings. His backpack dwarfing his frame. Tugged at heartstrings. Elias and I lingered in the hallway. Hands clasped. Whispering encouragements. My novel's sequel took shape. Chapters charting parenthood's uncharted maps. Elias beta reading with marginal notes of love. His clinic secured a lifeline grant. Celebration marked by rooftop champagne. Jordan asleep below as we slow danced to phantom music. Summer adventures beckoned, a road trip to Ohio. Roots revisited. My childhood home, once a cage of conformity, welcomed us with open arms. Mother's quilts for Jordan. Father's gruff tales of factory days. Elias bonded over chess with him. Silences yielding to stories of his own father's steel mill grit. You've built something beautiful, Dad said one evening. Eyes misty. A queer son embraced at last. The drive home brimmed with gratitude. Windows down. Jordan's giggles harmonizing with the highway's hum. Fall deepened our roots. Jordan's first school project, a family tree drawn in crayons, prompted talks of legacy. We framed it beside our wedding photo. A visual chronicle. Elias's promotion to department head brought pride and pressure. But we navigated with check-ins. Therapy a touchstone. My exhibit in Chelsea sold out. Buyers drawn to portraits of quiet intimacies. Elias reading to Jordan. Hands intertwined in sleep. Winter's hush gifted reflection. Holiday cards featured our trio. Smiles genuine amid tinsel. A quiet New Year's. Jordan tucked early. Saw us toasting on the couch. To fevers conquered. To futures forged. Elias's kiss lingered, promising eternity. As Jordan turned 5 in 2033's bloom, our story layered thicker. School plays. Scraped knees. Bedtime queries on stars, and souls each a brushstroke in our evolving canvas. Elias mentored residents. Passing his torch. I taught workshops. Igniting young artists' fires. Love. Once a desperate spark. Now a steady flame. Warming generations. Through it all, the original fever lingered as Lorea, a tale of two men who kissed chaos into kinship. Proving recovery's true measure, not absence of pain, but presence of purpose. In Jordan's eyes, we saw infinity, our hearts forever entwined in the grand human arc. Jordan's school years accelerated time's passage, each milestone a marker on our shared map. At 6, he declared himself a scientist like Daddy, donning Elias's spare lab coat for Halloween, stethoscopes swinging like a superhero's cape. We'd laugh. The three of us crammed on the subway to trick or treat in the village, rainbow lights reflecting in his wide eyes. Elias, ever the teacher, explained pulses and potions over candy piles, while I sketched his earnest face, capturing wonder's fleeting alchemy. Those nights, post-pumpkin purge, as Jordan dreamed of capes and cures, Elias and I would linger in the kitchen, wine glasses clinking in toast to the ordinary magic we'd conjured. But magic frays under routine's grind. Fall 2034 brought Jordan's first bully classmates taunt over two dads. Innocent cruelty rooted in ignorance. He came home tear-streaked, backpack abandoned in the hall. Why can't I have a mom like everyone? The question pierced, reopening old wounds. Elias knelt, voice steady. Families come in all colors. Buddy, ours is the best kind, full of love. I joined, weaving tales of our meeting. The fever kiss sanitized to a special hug that started our adventure. Jordan's frown eased into giggles, but the incident lingered, prompting school meetings and heartfelt letters to parents on diversity's doorsteps. Winter deepened resolve. We volunteered at the clinic's holiday drive, Jordan handing out toys to kids like him, queer families navigating winters of want. Elias's eyes shone with purpose, his hand finding mine amid wrapping paper chaos. This is why, he murmured, gesturing to the joy-sparked faces. Home. Jordan's drawing of our super family, taped to the fridge, became talisman. Crayons bold against doubt. Spring 2035 bloomed with Jordan's soccer league. Muddy fields where he chased balls with boundless energy. Elias coached. Whistle around neck. His encouragement a roar that rivaled the crowd. I'd cheer from sidelines. Camera capturing his proud grins. The sun gilding our son's curls. Post-game ice cream runs turned confessional, Jordan probing. Did you always know you loved each other? Elias glanced at me. Smile soft. No. Champ. Love grows. Like you. The honesty. Age-appropriate. Planted seeds of self-assurance. Yet summer's idle masked undercurrents. Elias's workload swelled with a citywide health initiative. Evenings lost to reports. I'd wrangle bedtime solo. Jordan's queries on stars unmet by my astronomy gaps. Resentment simmered. Spilling one humid night. I need you here. Not saving the world at our expense. Elias. Exhausted. Fired back. This work saves futures like his. The air crackled. Jordan asleep upstairs. Our voices hushed daggers. Silence followed. A chasm bridged by morning's coffee and contrition. We're a unit. I conceded. He nodded, pulling me close. Always recalibrating. Fall's back-to-school rhythm steadied us. Jordan thrived. Friendships flowering. His empathy a mirror to our lessons. My graphic novel series gained traction. Volumes exploring queer kinship through time's lens-fevered beginnings to familial blooms. Elias Blurb III. His words a public vow, a testament to love's enduring pulse. Winter holidays evolved into traditions, baking gingerbread clinics. Jordan piping icing, patience. His grandfather visited, teaching chess variants. Bonds strengthening across generations. My parents' annual trip brought stories of Ohio's changing tides, pride flags in small-town yards. Progress's quiet creep. Spring 2036 heralded Jordan's 8th birthday. A park picnic with piñatas and promises. He requested a big kid, gifted telescope and under starlit skies. We aimed it skyward. Elias narrating constellations like medical charts. See Orion, hunter of hearts. He quipped, winking at me. Jordan's all bound us. Night's vastness shrinking to our circle. Summer adventures called camping in the Adirondacks. Tents pitched by lake's edge. Fireside tales wove our history, sanitized sparks of our spark Jordan wrapped. Marshmallows aglow. A midnight storm tested nerves. Thunder rumbling like old fevers. But huddling together, we rode it out. Dawn's light a renewal. Fall brought challenges, Jordan's school play. Him as a tree in the giving tree. Stealing scenes with earnest stillness. Rehearsals clashed with Elias's conference in D.C. Absence's shadow looming. I filled in, directing lines. But the void ached. His return, flowers in hand, sparked forgiveness, missed my leading sapling. He joked, sweeping us into hugs. Winter 2037 whispered changes. Jordan's curiosity turned inward questions on identity. Sparked by a classmate's coming out story. We navigated gently. Books on shelves. Talks over cocoa. Love is who makes your heart happy. No matter the package. Elias shared med school snippets. His own path. I added artistic angles. Rainbows in every hue. Pride swell not fear, but fierce protection. Spring's thaw mirrored growth. Jordan joined a queer youth art club. His sketches echoing mind families in fluid forms. Elias's initiative passed. City funds flowing. Celebrations marked by family dinners. Toasts to tenacity. Summer's heat wave tested tempers. Air conditioners humming lullabies. Jordan's camp counselor role Junior aid ignited leadership. Letters home brimming confidence. We vacationed at the shore. Waves crashing like applause. Building sandcastles of dreams. Fall deepened bonds. Jordan's science fair project a model heart. Pulsing LED swan blue ribbons. Elias beaming paternal pride. My exhibit toured. Jordan's cameos and promo shots. Our story woven public. Winter's embrace gifted quiet. New Year's resolutions, more presence. Less perfection. Jordan's journal. Started that night. Chronicled gratidices at top. As he turned 10 in 2038's green. Our narrative layered profound. School dances loomed. First crushes hinted. But our foundation held conversations open. Love modeled. Elias mentored Jordan's projects. I fueled creativity. Together, we parented with purpose. The fever's legacy. A compass. Guiding through tempests. In Jordan's laughter, we saw salvation not from pain, but through it. Hearts healed and harmonies hold. Adolescence arrived like a sudden squall. Jordan at 11 testing wines we'd long charted. Middle school corridors. Once playgrounds. Turned labyrinths of cliques and comparisons. He withdrew. Sketches darkening thorny vines where flowers once bloomed. Evenings. He'd hole up with headphones. Indie tracks muffling the world. Elias and I exchanged glances over dinner's remnants. The table a silent council. Give him space. Elias advised. His Yarhone patience a guide. but space felt like surrender. My artist's instinct urging pursuit. Fall 2038 crystallized the shift. Parent-teacher night revealed Jordan's quiet brilliance overshadowed by isolation, sensitive soul. The counselor noted, words that echoed my own youth. Home. We broached it gently. Pizza as peace offering. Schools. Weird. He admitted. Picking at crust. Kids ask about us. Like, why no mom? Elias leaned in. Voice even, because we chose love that fits. Questions are okay. Answers are ours. I added. Art helps untangle it, draw what scares you. His nod was tentative. But next morning, sketchpad in hand, he left for school lighter. Winter wove warmth amid chill. Hanukkah Elias's nod to heritage-lit menorahs. Jordan fascinated by flames flicker, symbolizing perseverance. My family's Christmas fusion brought chaos, lax with eggnog. Laughter layering over old Ohio hymns. Jordan gifted handmade cards. Words scrawled, best dads ever. The simplicity undid us. Tears hidden in hugs. Spring 2039 stirred rebellion. Jordan's first Crusha boy from art club sparked blushes and buried notes. We discovered by accident. A doodled heart tumbling from his backpack. Panic flickered our boy on love's precipice, but we modeled grace. Whoever makes you smile. Elias said over ice cream confab. We're here. My edition, hearts are canvases messy. But yours. His relief flooded. A dam breaking into questions on our early days. Fever kiss veiled as magic moment. Summer's freedom unleashed. Camp for him. A queer-focused haven in the Berkshires. Letters home brimming with friendships forged. We escaped to Provincetown. Dunes and Drag shows a nostalgic nod to pre-Jordan escapades. Evenings on the deck. Waves serenading. Elias traced my laugh lines. We did good. He murmured. Kiss salt-tanged. He's brave because we were. Fall's foliage masked fractures. Jordan's grades dipped. Peer pressures pull evident in late nights scrolling feeds. Confrontation came calm. Talk to us. I urged. Bottling hurts more. Tears came. Confessions of feeling different. Always. Elias shared his med school isolation. On my Ohio hiding vulnerabilities as bridges. Therapy joined our toolkit. Family sessions untangling threads. Winter holidays healed. Jordan's bar mitzvah prep Elias's cultural gift-infused rhythm. Torah portions pondered over Shabbat candles. His speech, voice steady, thanked us for teaching love's language. Pride swelled. Our influence etched in his poise. Spring 2040 bloomed bold. Jordan's art show school-wide featured a series on hidden families. Ribbons and reviews praising depth. Elias framed the catalog. Wall of achievements growing. My novel adaptation pitched for screen. Quirlins intact. Elias consulting on authenticity. Summer adventures evolved. Family hike in the Appalachians. Trails testing endurance. Blisters bonded. Campfire confessions deepening Jordan on crushes. Us on sustaining sparks. How do you not get bored? He quizzed. Elias grinned. We choose. Every day? Fall challenged. Jordan's activism sparked petition for gender-neutral bathrooms. Our support logistical and loud. Backlash came, anonymous notes. Whispers. We rallied. Elias leveraging clinic networks. Me amplifying via op-eds. Jordan stood tall. Lesson in resilience. Winter 2041 whispered maturity. Jordan's 13th birthday. Laser tag and lectures on consent. Mark boy to youth. Friends gathered. Diverse tapestry mirroring our circle. Gifts unwrapped, a journal from me. Stethoscope model from Elias Futures hinted. Spring's thaw brought triumphs. Jordan's debate team win. Arguing for queer education. Elias in audience beaming. My film project greenlit. Jordan cameo consultant. Family woven in narrative. Summer's heat forged fireside truths. Beach retreat. Jordan surfing waves. Us watching from shore. Evening bonfires. He probed deeper, was coming out scary. Our tandem tails Fever's fog. Kisses in storms painted paths paved with pain and power. Fall deepened dialogues. School dance Nvidia boy. Nervous ass prompted suit fittings and pep talks. Be you. Elias advised. Post-dance debrief, awkward kisses. Honest hearts. It's weird but good. Jordan grinned. We high-fived. Milestones mounting. Winter's hush held holidays heartfelt. Jordan's first volunteer shift at clinic. Sorting donations. Eyes alight with purpose. New Year's. Family vow, grow together. As 14 dawned in 2042, Jordan's silhouette sharpened taller. Thoughtful. Sports tryouts. Art electives. Crushes cycling. We navigated. Net ever-present. Elias's mentorship expanded. Jordan shadowing shifts. Compassion kindled. Our fever-born bond. Anchor amid adolescence's gale. Proving love's legacy, not perfection, but presence. Guiding suns through their own dawns. High school hurled Jordan into tempests we recalled too keenly. 14 morphing to 15 in a blur of hormones and horizons. Freshman year. 2042. Dawned with lockers slammed and alliances forged. His backpack heavier with books and burdens. Mornings. He'd bolt cereal. Earbuds in. Evading our have a good day rituals. Elias and I adapted. Breakfasts brief but buffered notes in lunches. Doodles on napkins. You're the art in our world. Mine read. Pull strong. Kid. Elias's. Fall's frenzy peaked with homecoming hype. Jordan. Reluctant dater. Paired with a Lexington-binary artist from debate club tickets clutched like contraband. Pre-dance. We fussed ties and affirmations. Elias demonstrating the gentle handhold. Listen more than talk. I added. Memories of my first awkward outing surfacing. Post-event. 2 a.m. Debrief, it was. Real. He said. Cheeks flushed. Details spilled stolen dances. Shared secrets our nods encouraging. Space sacred. Winter wrapped in wonder and worry. Jordan's winter formal jitters amplified by a family crisis. Elias's mother. Frail in Chicago. Hospitalized post-fall. We flew mid-blizzard. Jordan's first solo sleepover, a hasty handoff to godparents. Hospital vigils. Her hand in his. Forged quiet bonds. She whispered to him. Your dad's taught you strength. Recovery slow. But her discharge brought spring's promise. Back home. Jordan's poetry slammed at open mics. Verses on grandma's grip, earning snaps. Our pride parental poetry. Spring 2043 stirred ambitions. Jordan's AP Bio elective. Elias tutoring late. Labs lit by desk lamps. Like father. Like son. I teased. Sketching their furrowed brows. Art class birth murals for school halls, queer icons in vibrant strokes. Jordan's contribution, a feverish figure rising. Nod to our lore. Controversy brewed parent complaints but principle-backed. Education includes empathy. Summer's Sabbath healed. Road trip cross-country. Route 66 reversed. Ohio roots revisited. My parents' farm now a haven. Jordan hay baling with cousins. Elias grilling tales of Windy City winters. California coast capped it. Big Sur cliffs dramatic as our dialogues Jordan on future colleges. Dreams diverging, medicine. Art. Both. He declared. Hybrid heart. Falls forge tested. Sophomore slump hit, grades teetering. Alex breakup bittersweet. They said I'm too intense. Jordan vented. Guitar strumming angst. Elias prescribed perspective shifts, hikes where heart-to-hearts happened. I countered with canvas therapy. Paints purging pain. Rebound came via band tryouts. Drums pounding release. Gigs at coffee shops, our front row fan club. Winter holidays harmonized. Jordan's Hanukkah drumming debut. Beats blending tradition. Christmas fusion, my family's carols. His improv jazz. New Year's. He penned resolutions, embrace the mess. We toasted. Tears toasting growth. Spring 2044 flowered fiercely. Jordan's essay on queer family dynamics won regional contest. Published in Youth Lit mag, Elias framed it beside his own awards. My screen adaptation premiered at Tribeca. Red carpet awkward but affirming. Jordan critiquing plot holes post-screening. Summer scorched with internships. Jordan at clinic. Shadowing Elias. Patient interactions, illuminating. It's hard. But holy. He journaled. We escaped to Fire Island. Dunes echoing our pre-parent romps. Jordan befriending beach bonfire philosophers. Questions on love's logistics late into nights. Fall challenged convictions. School board debate on curriculum queer history optional ignited Jordan's fire. He rallied peers. Petitions and protests. Elias advising strategy. Me designing flyers. Victory partial elective status but his speech. Visibility is vitality. Trended locally. Our home a hub of hugs and high fives. Winter 2045 whispered wonders. Jordan's 16th birthday. Driver's ed and dreams. Vintage Mustang hunt. Elias teaching stick shift on empty lots. Holiday lights lit his learners permit pride. Family drives to light displays. Carols cranked. Spring surge, prom proposals. Jordan to Miah girl from band corsages and curfews. We chaperone peripherally. Post-party pancake debriefs, dissecting dances and doubts. Loves a jam session improvise. Elias quipped. Summer's symphony, music camp in Berkshires. Jordan's compositions mailed home. Sheet music stained with sweat and stardust. We renovated the studio. Walls expanding for his drum kit. Collaborative chaos. Fall deepened. Junior year jitters. SAT preps with Elias's flashcards. My motivational sketches. Relationship with Miah deepened. Movie nights, our vetted venue. Trust's tender thread. Winter wrapped warmly. Holidays hybrid. Jordan's first paid gig. Drumming New Year's Eve at a queer center. Us an audience. Hearts hammering pride. As 17 dawned in 2046. Jordan's contours clarified activist artist. Healer in embryo. College apps loomed. Visits to campuses. NYU's urban pulse. Elias's Alma. Rizzed creative chaos. My echo. Decisions deferred. Dialogues dominant. Our story's spine. Unyielding. Fever's fire fueling family flames. Illuminating paths for a son soaring on inherited wings. Senior year swept Jordan into a whirlwind of what's next. 18 marking legal lines but emotional expanses. Fall 2046. Applications avalanche. Essays on identities intersections. Recommendations from Elias's colleagues. My portfolio mentors. Evenings. Kitchen table, a war room caffeine, and calendars. Jordan's resolve radiating. I want impact. He declared. Eyeing dual majors, bioillustration. Healing through art. Elias beamed. Our boy. I nodded. Masking maternal pangs at impending empty nests. Winter's weight pressed. Holidays heightened. Jordan's college interview suit. Starched and somber. Contrasted his drum solos at family feasts. Chicago visit for grandma's milestone. Her frailty a reminder of times told Jordan's bedside stories. Her laughs frail but full. Legacy's loop. Spring 2047 burst with acceptances. NYU full ride. RISD merit. Celebrations confetti strewn. But choice paralyzed. What if I choose wrong? He fretted. We countered with wisdom. Elias on med school's pivots. Me on art's fluidity. Decision, NYU. City heartbeat sinking his. Summer's send-off simmered. Moving prep unearthed memories baby shoes. Fever-era sketches packing parties with tears and toasts. Final Fire Island jaunt. Jordan journaling dunes. Grateful for roots that roam. Fall emptied echoes. Dorms drop off. Brooklyn buzz swallowing him. Our brownstone hollow. Elias and I rattled. Rediscovering rhythms. Date nights reclaimed. Jazz clubs crooning couplets. Just us again. He whispered. Hand in mine at a rooftop gala for the clinic. But voids ached. Calls sporadic Jordan's freshman haze of lectures and liaisons. Winter bridged. Holidays home. Jordan hauling laundry and tales, dorm crushes. Queer Alliance leadership. His gift, custom stethoscope case. Illustrated with our family tree. We gifted tuition trust. Love's long game. Spring's separation softened. Spring break volunteer trip Jordan to rural clinics. Elias coordinating. Me supplying art kits for kids. Reports wrapped. Saw our work in action. Pride parental. Profound. Summer internship at clinic. Jordan bridging our world's patient portraits sketched. Diagnoses discussed. Evenings. Debriefs over diner fries. His insights illuminating. Fall 2048. Sophomore stride. Jordan's major declared. Courses converging. Relationship with Kai-trans guy from lit class blossomed. Pride parade pics pinging our phones. We hosted. Awkward but affirming dinners. Elias grilling tips. Me vibe checking. Winter wove tighter. Break brought baking marathons. Jordan's playlist eclectic our old soul mingling his electronica. New Year's. He drummed countdown. Family fused. Spring spotlight. Jordan's thesis pitch. Graphic novel on queer health history's fever motifs faint. Our influence etched. Funding fellowship 1. Celebrations campus to city video calls. Summer's sojourn, study abroad tease. But Jordan opted local. Interning at my studio. Collaborative comics critiqued over coffee. Fall deepened. Junior year juggle, classes. Club presidency. Kai's complexities long distance when Kai studied abroad. Heartbreak hints in late-night vents. Love's logistics suck. We listened. Elias on endurance. Me on expression journals as balm. Winter 2050 healed. Holidays heartfelt. Jordan rebounding with band gigs. Rhythms restoring. Gift exchange, his graphic novel draft. Our forewords fervent. Spring surged. Capstone collaborations, Jordan's project. Illustrated medical texts for underserved communities. Clinic partnership pulsing purpose. Summer's synthesis, family road trip redux. National parks pondering futures. Campfires confided, Jordan on grad school dreams. Us on retirement whispers Elias eyeing consultancy. Me full-time novels. Fall's finale loomed. Senior scramble, internships elite. Resumes radiating. Jordan's op-ed on intergenerational queer advocacy. Byline bold. Our share social. Winter wrapped legacy. Graduation eve. 2051. Rehearsal dinner toasts, Jordan's. To the kiss that started at all fevers forging families. Tears flowed. Truths told. Spring's summit, commencement. Caps airborne. Degree in hand. Post-ceremony. Rooftop reception. Jordan's speech soaring. My dad's taught me. Heal hearts. First your own. Applause thundered. Our hugs harbor. Summer's separation revisited. But reverse Jordan subletting nearby. Independence inching. Collaborative projects persisted. His startup idea. Art tech for health ed. Us angels investing. As 21 bloomed in 2052. Jordan's orbit widened jobs at NGOs. Relationships ripening but homecomings habitual. Brownstone beacon. Our fever's flame. Enduring ember. Warming generations. Love's light undimmed by distance's dawn. Decades danced forward. Jordan's 20s a tapestry of triumphs and tumbles. Our roles receding to advisors. Ever present. By 2055, he was 24, fever's age settled in a Queens loft. Graphic designer for global health NGOs. Kai ringbound in a commitment ceremony we'd officiated. Vows echoing ours. Visits brimmed, brunches dissecting designs. Elias consulting on campaigns. Me co-creating covers. You're the blueprint. Jordan toasted one Sunday. Mimosas bubbling. Elias and I. Mid-40s to 50s. Recalibrated retirements rumor. His consultancy launched. Flexible hours for lectures and legacy clinic endowed in our name. Hayes Grant Healing Hub. My novels hit bestsellers. Queer Chronicles adapted to acclaim. Residuals funding travels, Italy's canals. Sketching cathedrals. Japan's Zen gardens. Elias meditating mantras. Winter 2058. Jordan's first child adopted niece Lila. 3. Wide-eyed wonder-shifted sands. Grandparent gig gleamed, babysitting marathons. Elias's puppet shows anatomical. My stories illustrated live. Lila's Papa Tie and Doc Eli lisps melted us. Brownstone baby-proofed anew. Spring's renewal, family Seder. Lila's tiny hands lighting candles. Jordan's pride paternal. Kai's harmonies. Guitar strumming freedoms. Summer soirees, beach reunions. Lila's sandcastles crowned with stethoscopes. Jordan's promotion. Creative director. Celebrated with rooftop roasts, our toasts timeless. Fall's foliage framed reflections. Jordan's therapy share. Parenting unearths my fever's yours too. We nodded. Circles complete. Winter wrapped wisdom. Holidays hybrid. Lila's dreidel spins dizzying delight. New Year's. Generational jam, Jordan drums. Kai sings. Lila claps, our jazz roots reborn. 60s crept for us in 2060s. Elias 60. Me 58, silver threading curls. Joints joking creaks. Health hiccups, his knee replacement. My carpal tunnel ironic echoes. Recoveries role reversed. Jordan's check-ins constant. Lila's drawings prescriptions. Spring 2065. Jordan's 40th wait. No, our anniversary milestone. 35th. Vows renewed lakeside. Catskills calling. Jordan officiating. Lila flower girl. Words weathered but warm. Fever faded. But fire endures. Summer's serenity. Volunteer voyages. Elias training docs abroad. Me workshops in queer archives. Jordan's family joined. Lila learning languages. Bonds borderless. Fall's harvest. Lila's school start. Jordan's nerves nostalgic. We visited. Apples picked. Lessons layered. Winter's wisdom. Holidays holographic. Tech bridging miles when Jordan relocated to D.C. for policy work. Virtual dreidels. Real love. 70s dawned 2070s. Elias 72. Me 70 grandkids plural. Jordan's son Theo arriving via surrogacy. 2072. Elias's namesake echo. Diapers redux. But delights doubled, Theo's gurgles. Lila's big sis bossing. Spring's spark, family retreat. Adirondacks. Trails gentler. Tails taller. Jordan's keynote at Pride Health Equity, air our seats front. Hearts full. Summer's symphony, music fest. Generations grooving, Lila's violin. Theo's tots. Jordan's drums undimmed. Fall's philosophy, Jordan's midlife musings. Career crossroads policy to philanthropy. Our counsel, follow the fever, the passion pulse. Winter wrapped revelations. 2075 holidays. Full house, Lila teen tall. Theo toddling. Jordan and Kai's harmony holding. Toasts traverse time, from that rainy kiss to this radiant now. 80s etched gracefully. 2080s, Elias 82. Me 80 memories mists. But moments magnified. Jordan's foundation flourished. Global grants for queer care. Our archives donated fever journals digitized. Spring 2085. Jordan's 60th grandkids gaggle. Great-grand. Lila's wedding. Queer joy. Us aisle seated. Handkerchiefs handy. Summer's sunset. Porch philosophies. Elias's story stethoscoped. My sketches sun-faded but sharp. Fall's farewell whispers. Health's harvest. Elias's heart murmur managed. My vision veiled but vivid. Winter's warmth. 2090 holidays. Circle vast Jordan 74. Lila's twins tumbling. Legacy lit. Foundation's fever-free world. One healed heart at a time. As 90s neared. 2095, Elias 92. Me 90 bedside books. Hands held. Jordan's visits vigilant. Stories sustaining. Final fever. Peaceful passings. But not yet love's lease long. Our tale's terminus. Timeless. The kiss that kindled. Cosmos constant. Illuminating lineages. Proving recovery's life's the linger. Love the light eternal.
Just breathe calmly. Try not to worry about what might happen next. We're taking care of you now.